everybody. Welcome to the show. Thought we were going to be a little bit behind. Apparently not. Didn't think dinner was going to be done in time. But just to kind of show you, maybe next time we'll use it. But on the back, I don't know if y'all can see it very good, but on the back of my computer, I have some of y'all's stickers that were given. I believe it was Shannon's, Ridge Lights, Come On, and then Simply Jam as ones I have on my computer. But I'm thinking I'm going to do something a little bit different with them. Either make some magnets out of them, put them on the fridge, or make a board out of it, stick a board, something. I'm just not quite sure what I want to do yet.
Jackie's been waiting 2 years for you to return to me.
Too much background noise.
I'm afraid he's gone bananas.
We're trying to reduce some of the background noise so it's not so okay. Oh, it automatically came up. Okay. But that's why I can see the comments a little bit better if somebody comments. Because I'm looking so far away on our phones, I can't see them very good. So that's why I tend to want to get close to the camera. I apologize. So hopefully this way will prevent me from having to go what they say, kind of squint and kind of look real close. But we're trying to figure out something a little bit better system so that we can read the comments better and answer people's questions a little bit better. Pooch is still going on. He loves to talk. That's definitely Pooch. He'll join when he's ready. But it was kind of cute. This morning when we woke up, I was kind of like behind because I haven't been sleeping very good lately. I'm not getting I should sleep till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But when we got up this morning, my son decided he wanted to sit there and watch his daddy run the trains along this track that we have sitting in our floor. And that's all he wanted to do. He fussed when he was sitting with me. He kept trying to lean over the bed and trying to look over and watch his dad. And so we just kind of eventually told him, I said, you're going to have to let him sit in your lap because he's too interested and he's going to try and fall off, and he's doing everything he can just to get to them trains to watch. So I see finally made it in. But yeah, he wanted. He just kept doing that, and I was afraid he was going to hurt himself. So I finally told him, I said, you're going to have to let him sit there and sit in your lap and watch the trains go by. Hello, Treasure Hunter. Treasure Hunter, you're close. My name does start with a J, but unfortunately, it's not Jenny. For some people, a lot of people want to call me that, but that's not my name. But close enough. I'll take it. Yeah, it's so he's out there and watched, you know, his dad just kind of watched him play the trains and just kind of watched. So he did that for quite a while this morning, and he enjoyed that. And then he kind of got to where later in the day too, he wanted his dad. He kind of been wanting his dad a little bit more today than he wanted Mama. He's kind of getting tired of Mama, I guess. Hello, Piggy. Glad you can make it in. And that's fine. We understand. Just glad you could make it in general. Don't run yourself too ragged. I wasn't telling nobody off. I wasn't telling you off. I was just simply letting you know. You got me pretty mad to make me tell you off. I just kind of find it funny though. It's actually Jessica, just for future reference, but that's okay. Like I said, you're not the only one that's called me Jenny. I've been called that multiple times. I've always been mistaken for other people that I'm not. They'll see me and I'm like, oh hi so and be like, sorry, I'm not the person you're looking for. So it just, we're doing things a little bit different tonight. So if you see a comment under a bias or something like that, it's because I'm going under a personal profile that I made a long time ago, my maiden name. So it's probably one of us commenting on there, or you'll see like the TNJ homestead right now because we're still trying to figure some of this stuff out. Hello, Treasure Hunter. But so if you see one of those comments, but we're trying to still figure out some of the stuff on StreamYard because we're on the free edition. We don't have the full blown edition right now. So we're going from there, and then maybe when we can afford to pay that monthly fee, well, I would, Beth, but there are 2 other channels with guys named Jesse. And trust me, they can be very, very picky if you call me Jesse too, and they will tell you off. I had a kid in class that's name was Jesse, and somebody I knew had called me Jesse for short, and he didn't like it. Yeah, so yes, full blown, he does tend to have big chews. I'm trying not to go back on that, at least. Yeah. That's how you can always tell with him, no matter what. So you know, we might have to get the 2 Jessies' permission on that because we have Tree Haven Jesse, and then we have Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. So you know, we might have to get their permission for you guys to call me Jesse. They might get the monkey, huh? So it's my fault. You just treasure hunter. Some people are able to quit. Some of them are not. We are currently working to try to get him to quit. We just haven't got him to yet. He's cut back some. Not the way we want, but it's a work in progress. Monkey on our truck. What do you mean by that, full treasure hunter? I'm not sure what you mean by that one, but it's a work in progress. Maybe we can eventually get him to quit, but with everything that's going on and things like that, it's definitely hard to quit. We got behind on our application for the housing authority because we had gotten sick, and I tried to call them. Well, it's not that, Beth. It's just that I don't want anybody to take offense if you guys call me Jesse. Like I said, some people do, and I just don't want nobody to take offense to it if you guys call me Jesse too. I mean, personally, I don't mind. So it's, yeah, I just don't want nobody to take offense to it if you call me Jesse too. Because I know there are other, like I said, there are 2 other Jessies. So yeah, I just don't want. I don't want no hurt feelings. That's the only reason. Full-blown, I wish that's what Teddy goes through on his chew. But unfortunately, he goes. Sorry, I'm just getting back on the couch. Unfortunately, he goes through more than that. he currently can go through a tub a day.
I'll be right back.
So, you've got him beat on the how little part. So yeah. But like I said, we're working on him. It's just gonna take some time. I tried to I tried to call the housing authority to let them know that we have got behind because I didn't realize there was a time limit on it, and some of it we have to get notarized, and we weren't able to do that because we were trying to keep the sickness within our household instead of going out and spreading it to everybody.
Pooch, what the tub? I do a tub for me,
Yeah,
so I don't have to go through the can and spend like $7 something on a can or $7 or $8 on a can every day.
he'll get anywhere from 4 to 5 cans a day if I don't get him the tub. So I have to get him the tub, and he used to make that last a few weeks at one point, but then he kind of stress got him, and it kind of went up again, and now it's pretty much a tub a day if we don't watch him. So yeah, it's his calm down too.
It's my calm down. It helps me. Instead of taking chill pills, that's my chill.
So, but anyways, as I was saying, I tried to call the housing authority to let them know that we were behind and ask them to call back. I have not heard from them, and I've tried to call them multiple times, and they don't answer. Well, yeah, that would work too, full blown, if he, because I think there's like 5 in a log.
It's five 5 cans in a tub. And
no, he's talking about the ones that are like this.
There's 5 cans in a roll.
Yeah. Well, that is tobacco in a way, Beth. It's just chewing tobacco. It's not a cigarette. It's not,
There's different types of chew. You got the chewing tobacco, then you got the snuff. There's the chewing type, then there's there's the dip type, and then there's ones it's a powder type.
He does the one you just basically sit in your mouth and spit out, basically. But as I was saying, and so I don't know. We're gonna have to go in tomorrow when we take the kid to one of his therapy sessions, because he's a cross between home therapy and outside therapy. So probably so full blown. Now they've cut it back, and it's more expensive. Wish it's still that way. Piggy, you know what? I wish he could make a tub last a whole month. That would be great. Yeah, unfortunately, we were trying to get some other things sorted out, and this housing authority stuff is one of them. So I don't know what they're going to say if, what they're going to say. They're probably going to say we should have had it in, have to reapply now. I'm not sure. It's probably what they'll tell us, but in a way, with trying to contain it, just making sure that it's just the family and not people outside the home. But it's not as easy as it looks, because we have to do paperwork with them and a lot of footwork, and then in the end they just say whether or not we're approved, and if we are, they just help us out that way. It's just excuse me. It's not easy, and everything I've been told so far, except for maybe a few apartments, are every
2 months.
about 2 months back, and it's hard because I have to find places that since we have dogs and rabbits, I would like a pet-friendly place, and that's not easy. I mean, I do have a temporary housing for my rabbits if needed, and just take dogs. But trying to find that balance because because I say no aggressive dogs. Okay, we have one crank, but he's what
He's about like
10, 11 years old. So that's partly due to age, and he doesn't like change. Then we have an 11 or 12-year-old.
He's 12.
Okay, 12-year-old, and he don't like to be by himself. He does better with our newest member, Blue. He's a blue heeler. From Irish Setter mix from what we've been told. We can definitely tell he's blue heeler. Most definitely. And then we have another blue heeler, Australian Shepherd mix. She does great. She's pretty mild. Loves to play. She just gets rowdy. Her and her sister both do. But only 3 are technically certified, so but like I said, with the one being doesn't like to be alone, we'd have to leave those two with each other. And like I said, the one's not certified, so that makes it hard. And it's just like, okay, how are we going to do this? We don't want to get rid of them because they're family to us. They're, not everybody feels that way about their animals, and be just like, okay, well, I'm moving this place since I can't have my animals. You know what? I'll just get rid of my animals. Okay, and they just totally set them aside, get rid of them. That's what happened to Blue the first time. His owner got him, and then she gave him up because she moved when she moved, I already had dogs, and I guess dogs that she was moving in with, the owner of the dogs. The dogs could be were known to be aggressive or something, so she didn't take him, and she gave him up, and then I wanted to find him. Hello, MT Homestead, glad you can make it. So he's a rescue. And I'd hate to do that to him again. I would just feel awful, like I said, my animals are family. Not everybody feels that way. But that's up to them. I just know how it is for us. But we'll get it figured out one way or another. I mean, we're looking into another possible option if this doesn't work out, and we might do that and just later on do their MAP program, which they'll help us buy a house that way. But it's going to be a little bit before I'm able to do that, and it's a longer waiting list to do it that way. But we'd eventually like a space of our own. Just to where it's us and just our little family and the animals. That way, we can find our own routine. It's a little difficult when you have other people's routines to consider, and doctor's appointments that you have to work around, and that's one of the reasons why I'm having trouble finding a job is because the fact that nobody wants to work with already scheduled doctor's appointments. And I can't go switch it on every time somebody starts complaining about it. I just can't. It doesn't make sense to do it that way. Plus, the doctor's appointment's not going to like it very much if I do that either. Because they haven't rescheduled on me. I've already rescheduled on them once, and I had to miss 2 appointments due to us being sick. Because we were sick for about a week, but the 2 appointments were close to each other. The way that that's week we were sick, so it wasn't easy, and I just had to tell them that we weren't able to make it due to the fact that we were sick and that we didn't want to spread. Of course, they would have sent us home anyway. And that's too long of a drive to just, And you're very welcome, as you said. You're very welcome. Let me know if you want some more for another giveaway. We don't mind one bit. It was our way of helping you out, and we don't mind. I mean, it might not be much, or maybe next time, I can do some sugar scrubs or something.
Or candles.
Or candles. I also do candles too. So, just let me know if you need, next time when you do one, if you need something, if you'd like us to donate something, just let us know. I mean, like I said, it may not be much, but it's
something.
Yeah, we may not be able to give away stickers or hats or water bottles or shirts or anything big like that, but it's what we got. It's what we got. And I apologize, it's nothing big like that. We just haven't been able to get there. Our funds are really, really tight right now. So I do apologize. I mean, we're not making enough to just barely make my car payment. So that's always fun. But, we're hanging in there. We're continuing to look around. We're continuing to do what we can. Full blown, they're not as hard as I originally thought the candles would be to make. They're actually a little bit easier than I originally thought. But I did find out, though, that I've got to find out a little bit better method of putting the wicks in than I did last time. Yes, Full Blown, you're absolutely right, and that's why I didn't mind contributing what little we had to MT Homestead for their giveaway. Because it was a blessing to us to help out. And like I said, it might be a small contribution, but at least it was something. I mean, that's just the way I personally feel about it. And like I said, we don't mind. But like I was saying, the candles aren't as hard as I thought. Just need a little bit better method for the wicks. They like to come loose on us. So I've got to figure out a little bit better method. That's one part, because I had one that came loose on me, and I don't remember what it was when it solidified. I don't solidified. What is that term I'm looking for? Hardened. Which one it was, so it got mixed up with the ones I already did mix, so I had sold some, so I don't know, but it'll, You know, Piggy, I'm doing exactly that. I'm just trying to figure out more ways I can. I finally got my computer back up and running because there for a while I turned my computer on because I had originally made a flyer on my old one. Then my screen just went completely black on me, and I can't do nothing with it. And I wasn't able to get it fixed, so I had to get a new one. And because I don't know where to get it fixed, so I was trying to find a place. But when I bought the one I'm using now, it would knock all our other internet out. Like when my husband was watching TV and my father-in-law was watching TV, and then I would get on my computer, it would knock the internet out, and I couldn't use it for a while. So, but finally it leveled out somehow to where I can use it with them watching TV or whatever they're doing with the internet, and it doesn't bother it now. So I might be able to go back and redo my flyer I had put one down at the store here in town, the gas station store, because we don't have where we live, there's not much here. Not many places to
There's
work.
more churches than there are businesses.
Exactly, and most of the businesses we do have are family owned, and so the workers are basically family. About the only places that are not is the school, the gas station, the bank. Of course, the bank's got all what it needs, so you ain't gonna get a job there, and the Dollar General. So that's 4 different places that is not a family-based work. Like I said, the bank's got all the people names, so those only 3 places. And so, yeah, that's not much at all. So I'm trying to figure out more ways, because I have my Facebook page for it, and I try and update it as often as I can. So if you know of anybody who would be interested in it, go ahead and invite them to the page. I don't mind. I also have another page too, where kind of like Pooches, I allow others to post on it. You know, what they're selling, or like Pooches, it only Pooches is YouTube and stuff like that. But I don't think anybody's posted on it besides me yet. And then I have my personal page, which a few of you have. I know Full-Blown has it, and I think Piggy Piddles has it. I know Eileen does, and I know Full-Blown does for sure. So, but if you're looking for the soap page, it's not under TJ Homestead. It's actually under Cook Family Homestead instead, because I had originally started that before we started our YouTube page. I think I've explained this once before, and we tried to put that as our channel name, but it turns out somebody else already had it, so we couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, well, we gotta come up with something else. But I may go in and change the name of it on my Facebook page just to that's nice, Pooch. And there are not many here. Well, we personally do not. We visit one occasionally here, but our home church is actually in Muskogee. So and they don't really do anything like that. they do have meetings and stuff, but it's not like yours in a way. It's a little different because I know there's legal laws and stuff. You have to have so many board members and stuff like that, which they got all the board members in and stuff. And unfortunately, we have not been on a while due to the fact that got sick, had trouble sleeping. But we're gonna try to eventually get back the best we can. It's just getting that balance back to where our home life balanced enough to where we can get back to it, because our home life kind of got so topsy-turvy, and gas plays factor into that a little bit. So yeah, ours does not have a
Sunday school.
It has Sunday school, but it's not, and there's not very many kids. It's a lot of older folks. No offense to anybody. About the only kids there is my youngest sister and my son. Those are about the only kids there. So as you can see, there's not much of a Sunday school class to teach. It's so, we just do it all in one. Cause, we have my son, he's getting where he understands, but he doesn't understand everything. That plays factor into it full blown. Ours is a smaller one, so, being a bigger church, that does play a factor. Ours is a smaller one. I think there's probably about, 14, 15 people in the church, unless it's grown since last time I was there. But that's time will tell that. But yes, being a bigger church does play a factor into it. What was I gonna say? I'm losing my train of thought too much tonight. That and kind of distracted by my son playing in the floor over here. Do not let him get a hold of that.
I won't.
We definitely don't need it. We don't need him hooked on it. You come up here and say hello? Huh? You come up here and say hello? I was watching some videos earlier, and he kept hitting the buttons and stuff on the keypad and messing up the screen earlier. You say hello?
Look up there.
Yes,
Look up there.
Hello? Okay, Piggy, you have a good night. Glad you can make it in. And maybe next time you can stay a little bit longer. If you're not too tired, but we understand y'all's schedule's changing, so you have a good night. Yeah, see, we got way more members than we do. Like I said, there's probably about 15 members total, and that's when everybody is there. So yeah, it's a rather small. I mean, it can fit more. That's just how the church is right now, and it may eventually grow too. I think that we've been at that particular church for
You've been there longer than me.
4 years, almost 4 years. He was trying to grab the computer again. For some reason, he wants to watch the videos, but he wants to play the buttons too, and it messes. He pulls up all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. Or he'll try and dump it over into the floor. He's
really into big on watching the Come On Mountain.
Yeah, come on homesteading. He likes that one. He gets been pretty interested in some of the other ones too, from time to time. It just kind of takes a little while, I guess. course, when he gets older, he'll probably learn to appreciate some of the other channels too.
Take the dogs out.
All right. Here, you sitting by me? Come here, sit by Mama.
Come on, let's go sit.
He'll be right back. He's got to let the dogs out there getting off of Rowdy.
Come on.
So I know he can't do that, honey. He's trying to play with his keyboard again. Yes, full blown it is. But at times it could be rather. He doesn't understand that it can break. Or that it'll mess it up. Was that right? Just tell him about it. Just tell him about it.
Sissy.
I don't know if y'all heard him, but he was kind of grunting a little bit. And full blown, it'll come in its own time. That daughter of yours will eventually get married, and so are your other son. Just wait. Time come when they meet the right person. Must you headbutt Mama's chest? He is ramming his head into my chest. He thinks that's fun. He's been beaten up on Mama today. He's kind of enjoying that. He's pulling my hair and stuff earlier too. Kind of trying to teach him that pulling hair is not nice. But he'll learn a little bit. You okay? Now you're faking. Okay, that one was not. He gets into where he'll fake cough sometimes. Full blown. We all are getting older regardless. Yes, some are older than others, but we all getting older. Each and every one of us. Down from this kid next to me, and smaller, up to some of y'all. It's up to some of y'all in there. Well, it looks like I've got about 5 people in here. That's a little more. It looks like it's growing a little bit. I know it was 6 earlier with Piggy in here. They just kind of one of them things, and but they might meet somebody in the next year or two, and who knows? I mean, me and Teddy were married for about a year, and then we had my son, so it might be kind of fast like that. I mean, I was a little faster than we planned on it, but that's okay. He's our little blessing. Yeah. He might be ornery, but I still love him. What, you still Mama's hat? You still Mama's hat? What you gonna do? You gonna take Mama's hat? He's trying to get my hat off my head. What? What, you wanna wear it? Mama's hair's messed up. Excuse the messy hair. He likes to play with our hats. He likes hats. He definitely likes hats. I don't get his fascination with it, but he definitely likes hats. Yes, full blown. I came across some of my son's younger days pictures and realized how big he's gotten from those. So you're right. I mean, they don't have to necessarily be an adult to grow fast on you. Even this little guy here in my lap is growing fast. I would say that too, but I'm not quite there yet. I mean, yeah, I do miss when he's a little bit younger. but he'll get there. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure who you're referencing, Treasure Hunter. And I'm sure she does. There are people who do. But when Teddy was explaining the different types of tobacco, he may not have realized that she knew about the different types of tobacco. And we didn't mean to offend anybody if we did. We apologize. But yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by what somebody meant by that type of response. With Teddy, he kind of likes to explain things sometimes, especially when it's something that he has in common with somebody, or it's about trains or animals. Sometimes he likes to explain things, especially if it's something he enjoys. So he didn't. Like I said, no offense if anybody's offended. We apologize. But what was I trying to say? I want to see how you are. Staying out of the live now, are you? Make me just 2 in a row by myself, huh? Boy, you're a butt. He's making me do this by myself. He just sits there anyway and looks pretty. I pretty much do it by myself anyway. Brat. See how he is. Y'all gonna have to get him.
And if you think about it, I'm the one that's been on a couple of times on different people's lives.
So?
Different channels' lives.
So? This is our live.
I know.
Mine and yours, not my live. It's our live. There's a difference. Oh, well, she may not do any tobacco now or something. And like I said, Teddy just likes to explain things. He may not realize that other people know some of that facts. Because coming across new people, we don't automatically know what they know.
And plus, too, a lot of the things that I normally try to explain, I don't really mean it. It's just it's easy for me to explain it one way than others.
Is it okay if I tell him? With him having what you call Asperger's or high functioning autism, his brain works differently than the rest of ours. So sometimes he'll feel the need to explain something just because he wants to. Right, full blown. No ill was meant. And so but like I said, we don't automatically know that somebody already knows this information, and it's just how his it's just how his brain works in a way. Like I said, because he has the
I have what you call a high functioning autistic.
Yes, he's high function autistic, so his brain is wired than everybody else's. And so he explains things differently, or he'll say something differently than me, but he'll mean it differently than what is said. Even I'm still learning to know what he means by certain things. And sometimes, yes, we do get in arguments over it because he means it one way and I'm hearing it in another way. but he doesn't mean anything by it. It's just, and it's not something he can help. So it's a large experience, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think he talks very much on here too, is because he doesn't want to
offend anybody.
He doesn't want to offend anybody, and he's well, unless he knows you real well, he's not much of a
people person.
Yes, and it's one of the things he's working on, because what we think is a crowd, he thinks that's a huge crowd. We think 10, 20 people's a crowd. He can think 3 people. He thinks 3 people's a crowd. So his like I said, his he sees things differently, and so he's not as sociable as a lot of everybody on here is. I'm more sociable than he is, but there are a few times he does come out of his shell and he does talk. I know at Shoot Game, that's probably the most I've actually seen him be okay with being in an actual crowd. Then he has been a long time, because I know he talked to full blown quite a bit. We did, and then he went and talked to Cold Beer by himself for quite a while. And there's a few others that we talked to. I know we didn't get to talk to everybody. We apologize. Maybe next time we're able to make it to one of the get-togethers. Maybe we'll be able to talk to a few more of y'all. But it's okay. I know what you meant, but you meant that more as a question when you had said he's not new tobacco now. You are asking him because he wasn't responding to what was said. Okay, I get it.
So sorry about that, though, Beth. I'm not very good at talking.
That's kind of what I'm explaining to y'all, is the fact that he, like I said, he's wired differently. Because he's been that way since he was
Little.
Yeah.
Not when I was little. Still in elementary school. There was how can I put it? There wasn't
he spaces out in a way, and his one track mind. He'll see something. He like when he was little, he explained to me he was with some family members, and he had this car mat. He just sitting there lining up his cars a certain way on there, and by color and everything the way he wanted it. And his family was trying to get him to look at a book,
books,
pictures or something.
Pictures on some those catalogs about horses.
And they had said his name several times, and he didn't respond to it because of his high functioning autism. And there's times that I have to holler him several times, and I'm starting to get agitated because he's not responding to me. But then I have to step back and say, okay, wait, it's part of his difference. He's not doing it on purpose. It's part of his difference. And because there's not like I'll holler him for dinner, or I'll holler him to help me with something, and sometimes it is kind of hard to hear because the air conditioner here is louder than most everything here. So when it's on, it's hard to hear people when one's in one room and the other's in the other room. You can't really walk back there right away or walk to the other room. to ask them. So but like I said, it's just but that's a possibility too. It might be that way because sometimes I misunderstand things myself, and I find that I kind of space out too a little bit, not intentionally. Teddy got started at a young age tobacco.
I got started at when I was 17.
I don't know the full story. I've never asked him the full story on that one. But I bet he did tell me he started at a young age. And it wasn't a legal age, technically, so. And, and sometimes, that family will get started on it. I know that my father-in-law also does it. He's done it for years too, and so that when you have two people in the household that have that habit, it's definitely not a cheap habit. But I only pay for one person's habit. I don't pay for the others, luckily, and that's why I don't want our son to get into that habit because it's an expensive habit and it's just not healthy for you all the way around. But he'll make his own. I went fishing too with my grandpa, and I miss it, but I didn't come back with a bad habit either. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say good night. Go lay down.
It's too bad.
Make sure he's got Rabby and Bear Bear. He's putting our son to bed. It's actually past his bedtime. He generally lays down about 8 o'clock. So that's a lot of times why y'all don't see him. I did let him stay up a little bit later than he normally does. Probably not a good idea because I'm trying to get him on a sleeping routine. Because there's times that from bed at 8 o'clock he just starts throwing some fits. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Beth, if we misunderstood anything you were saying. And everybody is different than other people too, so that does play a factor in things. I may not have read the comment properly. Excuse me for just a second, I got a cough. Sorry about that. I wasn't trying to. So both you and Full Blown were started at a young age too. So Teddy was probably just a little bit older than y'all did. He got started at 17. Full Blown got started at 12, and Treasure Hunter got started at 14. Full Blown, Texas ain't the only cow town. I know another town around us that's actually called Cowtown too, but for a different reason, just because of its name, really. So that's kind of funny. Okay. I wasn't going to say any dates, but thanks for sharing that, Treasure Hunter. I know that we're younger, and we're still learning things ourselves. learning things ourselves, just about YouTube, life itself. But yeah, we're not intending to offend anybody. That's not our intentions. But I also know that you can't make everybody happy. So you're gonna offend people along the way, regardless of wanting to or not. I know this a couple times that when I was working. This was back before me and my husband got together. When I was working at a restaurant, and one of the girls was so flighty on being sat, but it was a slow day, and she just would tell me, "Sit, you don't sit, sit, you don't sit." And I got tired of coming up there every 5 minutes just to tell me to see her or not see her. And the thing is, we had a seating chart, and I had to go by that seating chart, and that way it was equal for everybody to be sat, so that everybody had about the same amount of tables as. That way, I'm not sitting Susie over here 5 times and Samantha 2. Or that's why we had the seating chart to try and equal things out. And I basically had to tell her to back off and let me do my job. She'd be sat when she was sat, regardless of what she wanted. Because and I didn't like doing that because I felt like, in a way, I was being rude to her. But when you try and calmly and nicely tell her, and she just keeps insisting and stuff like that, and you gotta follow what your boss says, then I just kind of had to snap at her and just tell her she'd be sat when she sat when it was her turn. Because I can't set nobody if we ain't got customers coming in. But it was a slow day. Restaurants have their slow days and they have their fast days when they have their slow and fast times. And she eventually kind of fell off my back about it. She may not have liked my response, but sometimes it's the only way you can get through to people patient at times. But I'm not a mean person by any means. I mean, you have to push me pretty far to get me to snap at you. Unless I'm just having a really extremely bad day, and then that's when I generally try to keep to myself if I'm having an extremely bad day. That way I'm not snapping at anybody. Teddy here knows how that could be. Mm-hmm. He's unfortunately got a couple of the consequences of me having a bad day. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to learn not to do that when I'm having a bad day, but it's a learning curve. Yes, well, when they do. I have worked at this restaurant for 5 years in particular. So yes, I have worked in a restaurant business for total of 6 years. Because there's 2 different restaurants I worked in. Yes, generally you'll have your lunch rush and your dinner rush, depending on on most restaurants, because not every restaurant has breakfast. I know the one that I particularly worked at did not have the breakfast, so it was your lunch rush and your dinner rush. But yes, most restaurants have their 3 times a day rush, and then they have their downtimes. That's why generally we went down to, after a certain time, the restaurant would go down to 2 restaurants until a certain time, 2 waitresses and 1 host, because of that fact, because it was so slow that, pretty much, oh, blah, you want to do this stuff? see what works for you. I mean, that's what I'm kind of having to do with my soaps and my candles and stuff. I'm working on a few little projects myself to see what sells better. But opening a bar and grill, that's a little more expensive than the other one you mentioned. What was I gonna say? That's a little more expensive. I'll probably make a deal with somebody on that one first to try it out to see if that's something you think you actually want to do. There you go. Pooch's Bar and Grill. I'd probably make a deal with somebody for a restaurant and just say, hey,
Or full blown country bar and grill.
Did you hear him? He said, or full blown country bar and grill. Before I actually opened one up myself, just to see if it's something you could handle, because I know there's a lot of paperwork and stuff involved. But there was something in your life that you mentioned you had wanted to do, but that's a little less expensive. But that's what I'm having to do with my soaps and stuff, is just kind of see what's selling, what's not selling. But I know it does take a while to get things like that up and going. Well, there you go. You never know. He could be, because at one point my dad thought about opening a restaurant and just having the family do things. He was going to put me and my mom as a waitress, because I was a waitress for 5 years. 5 out of those, did I say 6 years?
It was 5 years.
Yeah, but there was about a half a year I wasn't. So I was for about, 6 years total in working in restaurants. And about 5.5 actually was waitressing. But you never know for one. You know what? That's what older folks like too. That's what kind of got them agitated about the store here in town, is because they like to get up and go get their coffee and early in the morning, sit there and talk for a while and have their breakfast, and then they'll go about their farm chores and come back for lunch and hang out a little bit longer, and then when their hours changed and stuff, it irritated them, and when the food wasn't as good, they got upset too. So, because I know older folks, especially the ones around here, they like to sit there and talk to each other and enjoy themselves. And if they don't have a place they can hang out and be themselves, it gets agitating, because they have to spend all their time at home, but they want to sit there and talk to each other, and because I had worked up there for a while, and I know the boss that I had worked under, I'm sure you could. And like I said, the older folks love to talk. I know there's a couple times here recently that we've just kind of sat there and talked with them for a little while. Of course, that every time we go in the store to do something, I'll see when I'm looking at the boy, because they want to see him too. But if you really want to do something like that, Pooch, then go for it. I mean, but yeah, it's going to take some work. You're going to have to find people to help you work it. You're going to have to,
how do I put it? Then test it out and see. I mean, the restaurant splashing out thing is a little more difficult because I know that's more expensive. But some of the smaller stuff that you think you might want to do, test it out and see. You're never gonna know if it's gonna work unless you try. Just like with my soaps, if I don't try, I'm not gonna know. Well, see, there you go. See, you get some ideas rolling. So, Beans and Leaves is okay, dear. Go play your trains. He's getting bored. He wants to go play his trains. Well, see, you've owned a shop. You know a little bit about what. What's going on? Babe, what's going on? What's he doing? Hold on, I'll be right back. I apologize. I gotta go see what he's doing. All I can hear is my husband and no response from him. I'll be right back. What's he doing?
He wasn't asleep. He was turned all the way around where his face was on his belly looking in our bedroom.
Well, good grief. Okay, so I guess the kid wasn't asleep. He was sorry about that, folks. But you're gonna have to lay him down, baby. He wasn't fussing.
I did.
He's gonna have to go to sleep sometime. He's not gonna go to sleep here beside me. Oh, diaper. Woo! Oh,
Dog.
sorry guys. I smell one needs a diaper change. Hey, you behave. You know better than running the house like that. Don't make me spank your butt. You know better. Thank you, dear.
What did she do? Knock the camera over?
But just about. But she knows better than running the house. Well, there you go. You and Pooch can work together. But then flowers before Treasure Hunter, you delivered them, and full blown, you own the flower shop. So there you go. Sorry, changing the kid's diaper. You'll have to excuse me. Woo-wee. Hey, honey, can you come get this, please? Teddy,
Yeah.
can you get this while I put the other clean one on him, please?
Alright.
Don't you start peeing everywhere either. Yeah, I know how your little stinker butt can be. Okay. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. The kid had a stinky diaper. Had to change it. Teddy set him down over here beside me, and all I could smell was him. I was like, ooh, and that's pretty cool, guys. So both of your wives were in floral designing at one point or another, maybe not the same years, but at one point or another. Um, and that's pretty cool. Um, so y'all have something in common with that. Um, what was I gonna say? Okay, is that voting machines? If I'm reading that right. Treasure hunter, being a truck driver, there's lots of different things you can deliver, and sometimes it's more than one. Um, my dad was a truck driver for years, and excuse me, he was always carrying something different. I know he delivered to a glass company. He used to drive the refrigerated trailers, and there's a few times that we did go with them, but we didn't do it very often because we were in school. But I know a little bit about the trucking industry. Maybe not as much as some of y'all, but I do know a little bit about it. What was I gonna say? I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing my marbles here. Oh, huh. Okay, full blown. Isabel, knock it off. Sorry, she's just over there chewing and stuff. And she knows better than I had to get onto her a little bit earlier because she knows better than to run in the house, especially around the baby. And she was running in the house and nearly knocked down the camera a while ago. So I had to get onto her. She's kind of testy today, testing her boundaries, seeing if whether or not I'm going to get onto her. Well, you never know, full blown. You never know. I mean, there's just you may or may not. You may or may not. That's oh. Looks like I lost a couple more people. I'm down to 3. Of course, I know my one friend that watches. She can only watch occasionally when she's not working. Um, yeah, with stuff like that, it is full blown. That's part of the reasons why I try to avoid places that or shifts that have teenagers because I tend to not work very well with them. Just for the simple fact that they think they know everything and think they can, even though they've been there less time, they think they can boss you around and stuff like that. And it's like, nope. Because I had that happen at the place I worked for 5 years. I would have teenagers come there and have to train them, and they'd be like, well, you need to do your job, you need to do this. I'd be like, look, I know how to do my job. I've been here longer than you. And, I just don't want to wind up snapping at him. Yes, but his daddy's not helping by bringing him back in here with mama. Daddy should have left him in bed so he would go to sleep. So. But yeah. So I try to avoid that just because I could see where in the person who's been there longer than you telling you how to do your job or whatever, but when somebody's been there a day or an hour and tries to tell you how to do your job, and you've been there 4 or 5 years, I don't agree with that. And so yes, I do have a little bit of trouble with that. That's that, or they don't want to do their job. They just leave their work for you and everybody else to do. And so I don't do too well with that. I feel like, if you're working in a place, you're there for a job, you should pull your weight. I mean, it's what a job is. It's not there to stand there and look pretty. It's to do what the job is, whether it's being a cook or a floral designer or delivering or whatever your job description is at the place you're at. But when I see them standing there constantly on the phone, not paying attention to customers, that kind of irritates me too. I work with people like that, and I try to tell the boss, and then I'm the one who gets in trouble and is basically said something about accusing the teenagers and all this other crap, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm trying to let you know that there's a problem, and I'm the one that's getting bashed here. No, I'm not dealing with that. I'm just trying to tell you that there is an issue, so that it can be fixed. And, so that's why I put that story, because of the fact that it wasn't, yes it is. But if somebody's not gonna pull their weight, and they're not going to do the job, and they're just standing there, and they're being rude to customers, or they're on their phone not paying attention to customers, and then they go and tell your boss, I guess ahead of you, that you're not doing your job when you're the actual one doing your job. And she can look at the cameras technically and see who is doing their job and who's not. I mean, that's all it really takes. Just look at the camera. You'll see who's standing around on the phone all day and who is actually working. I mean, it's not that hard. Because I know the cameras are connected to the boss's phone. Well, full blown. That's why I'm trying to find something I can do here at the house. But every place I've applied to has not responded. They don't. What was I going to say? And a lot of it's online applications now too, which a lot of those are hard to navigate. What's good with the good old walking in, asking for an application, filling out that paper application, and giving it back to them? Because it seems like they're neglecting the online applications nowadays. From what I'm seeing, or of course, the work from home jobs, it's more of the missing qualifications. You have to have so many years of this, so many years of that. Have to have this degree, that degree, and I just don't have them. You know, Wilburn, generally, yes, I like to be on the go and do stuff like that. But with being a mom, it's easier to raise a child if you can work from home. Because a lot of them are a little more lenient on and flexible on time, as long as you get your work in for the day. So yeah, I can see where that is, but you know, I do constantly worry about him. Wonder if he's okay. And yeah, what did you do with my hat, babe? But so I mean, I understand what you're saying. But there are certain jobs that are too fast paced for me and I can't do. But I mean, I have worked in tea factories. But you know, I've maybe not quit some of these jobs for the right reasons, but when you're having difficulty with people and you're the one being accused, then no, it may not be the right reason to quit, but there's certain things that I'm not willing to put up with. And if it's not going to change, then I will pull myself from that environment. Because I mean, I may not be the boss, but I can understand how certain things should be ran. Like, okay, if you're in anything with customer service, never be rude to a customer. Always pay attention. Get off your dang phone. Unless your job requires you to be on the phone. Like some of these other places that, you know, you get the call person, call-in centers, stuff like that. That's understandable. But if you're say standing in front of a cash register on your phone and a customer walks up and you're just continuously typing or whatever on your phone, talking to your friends, video chatting on with your friends, and the customer's standing there, they're waiting on you to cash them out. But if the back person has to come from the back side of it and do it anyway, do it for you because you're too busy on your phone, you know, that's okay. So that explains a little more about your job there, Goldblum. And you're right, yes. And you know that honestly, frankly, the automated stuff does irritate me because when my car had broke down and we had a doctor's appointment coming up, I had tried to call a place that would take us to it. But when I told them the address and I even slowed it down, said it slower so that they could understand, they said that they didn't understand where the address was. They couldn't find the address. And it was all automated stuff. It's like, okay, why can't I talk to a person so I can give them the address and explain it to them instead of having to try and explain it and argue with an automated system. And so I had to literally call them. So that actually makes 3 that we missed technically. Because we had no way there. The car was broken down. So I mean, we only have one vehicle. So if that's broke down, we can't go nowhere. So yeah, fun. But and I can see where for like you, it'd make your job a little bit easier in a way. But at the same time, it could be, like I said, it could be irritating if you can't get a hold of an actual person. yeah, I can see a little bit of both sides, I guess. But yeah, most everything is automated now, and it can get pretty frustrating. Especially how they set them up. Sometimes it's like, okay, it's like what's wrong? What's wrong with talking to an actual person? And but he's over here playing with the hat. I probably can't see him. I don't know if I can move the deal down. Yes, folks, run. You're correct. And but I don't believe a doctor's gonna figure out what's wrong with you if you're just talking to them about your symptoms. They're gonna have to act. They're gonna have to physically look at you. I mean, yeah, they could probably hear them stopped up and say, "Oh, it's just allergies. Take some allergy medicines." But and what if there's something else wrong with me and I don't? They're not gonna know because I'm only explaining my symptoms. I'm not. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, it, but yeah, that's. But yeah, everything's going to video now. Like I said, how are they going to know what's truly wrong with you unless they're actually physically in the room with you, checking you over, you explaining the symptoms, and they do their little test. See, everything's so, like you said, remote now. They're and a lot of it I know is due to COVID. But like I said, on a doctor's end, how are they gonna know? I mean, I could see where a job like yours, it's fine to be more remote, but for an actual doctor, like I said, I could explain my symptoms all day, but if there's a symptom that I have that I can't explain and they don't catch, how are they gonna know? I mean, I could have a sinus infection and they're not gonna know because they don't do the bridge testing of the sinuses and all that, like like they uh like they do, because I'm on video chat, with them. Luckily, the doctors we go to have not done that to us yet, but we never know. They might. Well, let's just say my husband and son go to. Um, I'm only allowed to go to them at certain times because it's the Indians, so, and I'm not technically Indian that I know of. So, but I know his therapies and stuff like that are not. That outside therapies actually kind of make me worry because there's times that we don't get to go back and okay, that explains it more. Um, so I guess the nurses are trained to do a little bit more now than they used to be. Um, but in a way, that's neat. But I just don't know that I agree with it all. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings by any means. Like I said, I just don't know if I agree with it all. How the heck did they do that? Yes, you're right. It definitely is crazy. Yeah, that's definitely definitely crazy. You sitting here playing with the hat? Hmm. Why are you sitting here playing with the hat? But do y'all have any questions or anything for us, or um, I mean, I don't mind answering the best of my ability. Boy, it's way past your bedtime. 9:32. Way over, way over little man's bedtime. Yes, I know the one I worked at, they had what they called a chow now, and you could pay on that one, order from there, and pay on there. Um, so I know restaurants are a little more versatile like that. But sometimes they still let you pay cashier too, depending on the situation and what restaurant too. And in a way, being able to pay at the table helps you get out faster if you need to, especially like if you got an appointment you got to get to and you want the check. You don't have to sit there and flag waitress down. So in a way, that is kind of helpful. But it seems like the world's turning to a lot of technology, maybe a little too much in a way. Who knows? By the time it's all said and done, there might be robots working everywhere. You might go into a restaurant and a robot comes out. Yeah, yeah, the manufacturing does need to come back to USA, but I honestly don't see that happening. Yes, they do. I know there's a few places like Amazon, um, and computers are robots in a way. So I mean, they're all around us already, but I mean, it ain't at the point where they're so lifelike that they come out to be your waitress at a restaurant. I mean, we'll probably eventually get there. Don't get me wrong, but then it's like if the robots are doing everything, what are we gonna do? Especially if you're used to working, what are we gonna do when it's all? Well, in some places, but like I said, I know there's a few at Amazon because I worked there for a short time myself. Um, I mean, I can't tell you all too much about it, but because I might get in trouble legally, and I don't want that. So, Whew. Yes, well, you're right about that one too. They are. That's why factories don't hire as many employees anymore, is because the majority of the assemblies at the car factories is done by robots. I'm not boring everybody, am I? I know there's 4 people in here. I'm not boring everybody, am I? If I am, let me know. Or if you got somewhere else you need to be, or tired or whatever, just let me know. We'll wind down. And I gotta figure out why this young man here won't go to sleep. Because he should be in bed. He's a growing boy and he needs him sleep. Yes, he does. I guess my husband's still watching the feed, just because I could hear background noise just a second ago. Yes, you're right. Correct. Tomorrow is Friday, full blown, and yeah, I guess I need to wind down myself. Sorry for keeping y'all so long, and good night. Good to see y'all in here. Hope to see y'all back. Um, have a good day tomorrow. All right. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day tomorrow. All right. We'll talk to you later. Good night, all.